Opinions and ideas expressed in the following Moraine Valley Broadcast Channel recording are those of its creators and do not represent the views of Moraine Valley Community College.
Hello, Moraine Valley, and welcome to This Made Me Laugh, episode 19. This is featuring me, Mohammed Abarazik.
I'm Luca Caro.
Alan Bayrat.
And Bilal Ayed.
Today we will be talking about our different texts, which are videos or movies or an episode of something that made us laugh. And we would be talking about whether the other person liked it or not. So we will be starting out with me. I chose Bo Burnham What? It's a musical comedy. Bo Burnham, he started out on Vine. He was just mainly music, and he would tell stories through his music and make people laugh, and that's basically what he did in his comedy. He was a stand-up comedian, and he chose stories, and he would tell them through his songs, and you would make him laugh, and I liked it very much because it was very spontaneous, so you wouldn't expect to hear what you were hearing. Also, the reason I chose this was because I've been watching him since he started out on Vine, because I was really into Vines when I was younger, and I usually base things on whether I like them or not, like movies or shows, on whether I would watch it over and over again, and I watched this multiple times, so it was a really good find. We can move on to your opinions towards it.
All right, I thought Bo Burnham What? When I first started watching it, I thought it was pretty unique. It was different because I've never watched it before, and it was actually so different from other stand-up comedy shows that I've watched before. The change of pace I thought was big, because he one moment he's singing, and then the next moment he's singing or telling a poem. It's very different of how he approaches things, and I thought it was pretty funny to me, because the pace of it, also of how he tells things, and his jokes were pretty unique and funny.
Yeah, I agree. When I was watching it, I had never seen him before, so watching it was new for me, but I liked how it was a different type of flow. It wasn't just a typical comedy. Like in the beginning, he dropped a water bottle, and he was like, "Oh, sorry guys, I dropped a water bottle." But then a song played saying he meant to drop the water bottle. I've never really seen that with a show before, but it was an hour long, and I felt like it was a little long, but it was funny, so it kept you entertained throughout the whole thing. So overall, I thought it was pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, I actually liked it. Found it pretty funny. Yeah.
He had there was a lot of different elements to it. He's very talented. He knew how to play multiple instruments, and I think he was kind of breaking the fourth wall, we could say, how you said that he meant to drop the water bottle. There were speakers in the background of him talking, but they were it's hard to explain. He had pre-recorded stuff that would go into his act
Of exactly what was going on.
Yeah, of
Right.
exactly what was going on, and it was very, very well produced and very well
Which is different
written.
from usually stand-up comedy. It's just do whatever you want. But
Yeah.
his was still stand-up, but it had a
was,
pattern to follow.
Yeah, it was very scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the traditional way, I would say, people would do it. Most people would just stand up there, tell a bunch of jokes,
Yeah, that's true.
use their bodies
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, he was very unique.
Yeah, but he was he used a bunch of instruments. He sang a lot, and I think that played a huge part into why I liked it. It was just very different, and you don't really get to see that a lot in different stand-up comedians. And I've watched a lot of stand-up comedy. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And
I was also gonna say why he's very funny, because he's very unexpected. You don't know what's
Right.
gonna come next.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's gonna do. And one of my funny scenes that I remember seeing was the part where he's describing the left and the right brain, of how he was just having a conversation between them, and it was pretty long, and it was pretty funny. But you just the jokes that he's talking about within as if he's talking about it in third point of view.
yeah,
It was pretty funny to me.
great guy overall.
Yeah.
Alright.
And he's made multiple things, so I would say go check it out, to be honest.
I'm actually glad you recommended it, because
Yeah.
I've never seen him before, so
That makes me feel
I thought
good.
it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Makes me feel like I did
Yeah.
my job. Okay, moving on. We could talk about Bilal, your choice, and talk about why you picked it and what it was.
My movie was White Chicks, and I picked this because I've always been watching it since I was little, and you know, whenever I'm bored or anything, that's just a movie to watch for me. It's always very entertaining, and I never get tired of the jokes. The type of film is a comedy and action, so those are very popular ones. And the intended audience is for older teens and adults. And there's a few inappropriate scenes in there, so I don't think it would be a good idea for the younger kids. White Chicks is about two FBI agent brothers that mess up a drug-related case. And as for the punishment, they get to escort a pair of rich young ladies to the Hamptons, where the FBI are going to use them as bait for a case. And as things don't turn out their way, the two FBI agents transforms themselves to a pair of blonde white women. This movie is very funny because I think the way they approach things and the way they tell their jokes is a very cool and interesting way. So, who wants to start off?
So, I've watched White Chicks multiple times. Like, it was really funny. Like, once, like, with my family and by myself and stuff like that. And there are really funny parts all throughout. Like, there's a joke where basically one of the guys that are just as the woman is dating someone else is like really into them, not knowing that they're a man. So at the end of the movie, when it reveals that he's a man, the guy that was really into them, which is Terry Crews, was really into one of the girls. He gets mad that he was black and not that he was a man, and it was like really weird that he would do that, and it was like very unexpected. And also there was another part where Terry Crews started singing 1,000 Miles, and it was just like unexpected because Terry Crews is just jacked, and you don't think that he would start singing that, so it was really funny. So yeah.
I've never seen the movie before, but I've always like been meaning to see it. So now that I had to see it, it worked out. But it was funny. Like, you don't expect a movie to be able to have like two African American men play white women, and like obviously they don't look like the people who they're supposed to be, but costumes and the makeup that they had made it look so much funnier. And just like parts of the movie, in one part they were like having a sleepover with all these other girls, and they had to play like dress up all night long and stuff. So I thought it was really funny. I'm glad that I had to watch it.
Yeah, I agree. I've watched it a couple of times too, and I found it funny. And for my what I chose a YouTuber. His name is Bretman Rock. He's a makeup comedian. The reason behind how I found the text was that I was looking at makeup tutorials, and he showed on my recommendations, so I just started watching his YouTube videos then.
I'm watching it, I don't know, like I just didn't think it was funny, and like it was like an hour long or it was like a length, and I just like it was like a struggle to finish it. But like there were like a few like clips that were funny, but most of the time I was just like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Really.
I didn't understand like his comedy. I mean, I felt like a little uncomfortable watching it, to be honest.
Right.
But like, I don't know, it was just not something I would get into. He was just a little like too weird for me. I don't know, but that's just me.
It was just like a different type of humor.
That
like
I wasn't
comedy.
really used to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he's unique.
Yeah, he's unique. Definitely.
That's
unique.
right. It is.
Yeah,
unique.
yeah, definitely unique.
I thought it was what's it called? I thought it was like pretty funny in some of his jokes, but at the same time I thought it was like pretty stupid because like the things that like the scenes or the jokes that he was telling, it was like it didn't make no sense. It didn't have no like meaning or anything to it. So, I mean, he was kind of funny, but to me it was like a waste of my time. But I got boring after watching it like 5 minutes. It was pretty boring, but yeah, that's what I thought about it.
Yeah, it's probably hard because like you guys don't do makeup, but like
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. It's just like it was a different type of humor, like I said earlier. So it wasn't really that funny to me, and like I don't know.
Did you ever watch his makeup tutorials?
No, I've never seen him before.
So you wouldn't.
Yeah, so I probably
so
wouldn't.
I mean, have you ever watched
No.
him?
I've never even heard of him before.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. All right, and moving on to Emily.
So for mine, I picked an episode of The Office, and the genre is a comedy, and it aired on Fox, so it's like family can watch it, but there's always a few dirty humor points, and the intended audience is family. And The Office, basically they're doing a documentary, and that's what you're watching, is them creating a documentary. And it's a cast of employees who work in the office, and Michael Scott is the boss, and he loves having his power. And his humor is very dry, and so is everybody else's, and that's why I think the show is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And the episode that I picked, it was about a cure for rabies, and because Michael Scott hit somebody in the parking lot, and she had to go to the hospital, and he thought that he saved her life because she got bit by like a raccoon like a few weeks before. So he created a race for the cure, and it was 5K, but he thought it was 5,000 miles instead of 5 kilometers. So everyone had to tell him about that, and he forced everybody to run, and he tried to get all these, like, a rabies doctor and, like, people to sponsor it, but nobody will because it's, like, rabies. So I picked it because I love The Office, and it's just an episode that I found very funny.
Same. I thought it was very funny, and I usually watch The Office a lot, but I don't think I've seen that episode. As I said, I watch it a lot, and like that show specifically was very funny. That's my favorite scene in the Office was the beginning of the show, where Michael tells the Office the bad news about Meredith of when he hits her with the car, and just the way he describes it was like as if she passed away or something very bad happened to her. But at the end of his joke, he ends up explaining that she's okay and she'll be fine, and the Office reacts so aggressive with it. Like, why are you making it seem like you made it like she passed away or something? I thought it was just very funny, and it's always a good show to watch. Like, if you want to get a laugh out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's always a good show to watch if you need a laugh. Like, as I said before, like, I base things on whether I would watch them again, and I've watched all The Office a lot. And this episode was really funny, straight all the way through. And I like how it started off with someone hitting them with their car, and it ended off on something completely different about him, like, not being able to finish a 5K. And I like shows like that, like other shows like that is like Family Guy, where they start off on completely something different and end on a whole different thing. So I think that's hilarious whenever the shows always do that, because there's just not many do.
Yeah, I've never watched The Office before, but I watched the first episode, and yeah, I liked the beginning too. Yeah, and I found it funny, actually.
One of my favorite parts, like you said, how he walked into the office and he said, the doctors, like, tried to do the best that they could.
Yeah, it was like...
Yeah.
And he was like, she only has, like, a small, like, pelvical fracture, but people have survived worse.
Yeah.
So.
And then all the people in the office got mad at him for, like, wording it so awkwardly.
Right.
Like, he was, like, saying that she, like, passed away.
Yeah, and then he forced, like, everybody to go to the hospital and
Yeah.
visit her, and
Yeah.
she was, like, not having it. And then he laid on her and crushed her, so it's ironic.
And then also when, like, he made a 5K for rabies, but there's a cure for rabies.
Mhm.
Like, it's not like a big deal. That's why no one, like, came and sponsored it. So it was like, that was really funny. That was just, like, so pointless to do.
Right.
I mean, all right, go ahead, just start.
Makeup tutorials?
No, I've never seen him before.
So you wouldn't.
Yeah, so I probably
so, like,
wouldn't.
I mean, have you ever watched
No.
him? yet?
I've
You
never
sure?
even heard of him before.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. All right. Thank you for watching episode 19 of This Made Me Laugh, and I hope that you guys come and watch episode 20. All right. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.